Hello everyone, Andre Pillow, PGA professional and founder of DNA Golf Instruction. Here with another quick tip. In the off season, there's certain things that I like to get my students working on, and figured I would share some of this information with you. One thing that I like to talk about in relation to the backswing. You know, the golf swing is a very, very complicated motion, and depending on the individual, we can spend hours on anything from setup, how we're holding the club, how we take it back, how we follow through, impact position, thought process behind a lot of these things. A lot of ways we can go in golf. Right now we're going to talk a little bit about loading and kind of where our weight should be at the top of our backswing. Okay? You see a lot of variations with this depending on athleticism, depending on age, depending on the way you process golf. And a lot of these things can be successful for the individual. They may work for you and may not work for other people. Not very rigid on my thoughts in relation to how we load the golf club. My mentality and what I'm thinking about, I prefer that we stay stacked or covered over the golf ball. You know, some people believe in moving laterally into the golf shot, and I don't know if I necessarily like that. I think it's a little hard to be consistent. Too easy to have, a wide range of positions and places where the golf ball can go. There are some people that actually, kind of move their hips a little too much, and a lot of times that can cause a reverse pivot, which is kind of where I'm going to start my conversation today. Anything that stops our ability to get our momentum going forward, to me, is not a good move. Any move that moves us away from our center and forces us to have to make a move back to the ball before we can follow through is not necessarily something that I want you to do. Some of these thoughts are changing, with TPI and what we're seeing with some of these younger golfers and kind of how they're creating more power. A lot of load is being created. But in my mind, I'm a firm believer that where I want you to be in the top of your backswing, I want the weight on your foot to be on the ball of that right foot or your back foot. I like you to maintain your knee flex. And those are two things that I think are very, very important in relation to a load position. Okay? Some people that will have kind of a reverse pivot where the club goes up and the head kind of drops down, they feel like their weight is back here, but it's really not. It's really in the front. And because of that, as you're swinging the club down, your body's actually moving back away from your target, even if you are a guy that can kind of get off that back heel after you make your athletic move. What we see a lot from there is people that flip the club, they hit the ground early, they may cut across the ball a little bit. All of those things can happen from kind of dipping our head and getting that weight going forward as the club is going back and reverting back as we swing through the golf shot. Okay? Now, I grew up watching Tiger, young Tiger, who had a little bit of a sway backwards, okay? Did a good job of maintaining his knee flex and was able to kind of get back through the golf shot. But with TPI and some of these younger guys, we're hearing a lot about guys that are getting loaded and loading so much and torquing their hips so much that their weight is kind of getting to their back heel. Okay? I do think that that's a very powerful position and a place to be, but I think for most golfers it becomes very difficult to make an athletic move that's consistent and can keep the ball in play. So, once again, I believe that the weight should remain on the ball of that feet, and we should maintain our knee flex as we go back. Anytime that weight gets on that heel for me, I feel like it's an extra move that we're going to have to make in order to get through the golf ball. Golf's a unique sport. So once again, take your time to maybe play with how I'm asking you to load versus maybe loading a little bit more. And if you're able to be consistent and see more power from it, I say go ahead and try it. But whatever we do here, we got to remember it has to hold up on the golf course. And golf isn't just about power. It's about accuracy and consistency. And that's very, very important for any golfer. And any golfer that I teach, I'll make sure that they have that in the back of their mind. Okay? Now, for that knee flex to maintain itself and to keep that weight on the ball of the foot, I have a drill I like a lot of my players to do. You can do it with a sand wedge, you can do it with a 9-iron, you can do it with a mid-iron. But I have them take their stance, put their foot in line with the ball, put their left foot back on its tippy toes, and I have you practice hitting shots that way. Okay? What it forces the weight to be on the ball of the feet, and it also forces that knee to remain flexed. Okay? And once again, for me, I think that helps us to get to the ball and back through the golf ball. You cannot name a sport where, I don't care if we're throwing a ball, pitchers come from this position and work forward. A quarterback, they're from a still position, working forward. A basketball player, when they are going forward, we know they're more accurate. If they fall backwards, we know their accuracy goes down. What I'm getting to here is that I don't believe that we want to waste a lot of energy getting behind the ball. We want to stay stacked over the ball, nice and loaded, with the ability to get all that energy going forward. That is the key to every sport. Even a track sprint runner, right? When they're in that box and that gun goes off, pow, we don't see them rock back before they go forward. They're in that box and they're ready to go forward immediately. Okay? So we want to be like that in relation to how our body is when we load and kind of get through the golf shot. Okay? So, let's hit one good shot here for you. And I want you guys to pay attention to that right knee and kind of that right foot. And those are my points that I kind of want to keep still throughout the whole golf swing. Back and through. Okay? Let's try that one more time. Same thing, we'll get into our setup here. Okay? So, we want to make it as simple as we can to get back to the ball and to get all that momentum and energy going forward. We don't want to have a reverse pivot where our head is tilting forward and kind of coming up and back when we swing, but we also don't want to get too loaded back this way and have to move laterally into the ball in order to get that momentum going forward. It's just too difficult to be consistent. Okay? Just some things to think about this off season. Hopefully you get a chance to hit some golf balls. If you are interested in getting lessons this off season, I do have some time available over here at Stormy Creek Athletic Facility with a nice big putting area where we can do some short game things and obviously some hitting nets where we can work on full swing. So please reach out. Thanks for watching and have a great day.